Today we're going to make some homemade mayonnaise. Now this is a super simple recipe. It's a little bit time consuming because of the way that you have to put it together, but I guarantee you if you follow to the letter, you're going to end up with mayonnaise that is not only guaranteed to actually emulsify for you, but also will taste better and have way better ingredients than the stuff you buy at the store. Let's get started. Alright, so for this mayonnaise, you need only just a few ingredients. First and foremost, you're going to need a couple of room temperature eggs. If you don't have them room temperature and you're more in a hurry, just go ahead and stick them in a bowl of warm water and that'll warm them up very quickly. Secondly, you're going to need some Dijon mustard. I know it might seem weird putting mustard into mayonnaise, but trust me, this is really crucial. It's going to help with the emulsification and it's also going to make it taste really good. And you won't really taste the Dijon mustard, I promise you on that. The next thing you're going to need is a little bit of salt, some white vinegar. And then the very last ingredient you're going to need, which is what you use most of all, is 2 cups of a neutral oil. I use avocado oil. You can use olive oil as well, but the results may or may not be as good, and sometimes olive oil has a bit of a stronger flavor. So I definitely recommend if you can get some, use avocado oil. It's some of the best oil you can get, and it tastes great in this recipe. So let's get started. Now for this recipe, you're going to need a food processor or a blender. It doesn't really matter which one you use, but a food processor tends to be the easiest way to do this. And if you decide that you want to do less of a recipe than what I'm doing, that's perfectly fine. You can have the recipe and you just do half the amount of ingredients that I'm going to show you. It will make less, but this stuff lasts for a while, so I always make a double recipe. Plus, when you're doing it in a larger food processor like this, it's just much easier to get things properly mixed up if you do it with 2 eggs and 2 cups of oil and all that. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and crack those eggs into the food processor. And we'll pop on the lid and we will turn it on for 20 seconds. All right, basically the egg should look like this at the end of that 20 seconds. And you can use a rubber spatula to basically scrape all the stuff off the sides here, get it going down. And then to this, we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of white vinegar, then 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard, and half a teaspoon of salt. You can use whatever kind of salt you want, of course. Doesn't have to be sea salt, it could be kosher salt, regular iodized salt, pink Himalayan salt, whatever it is that you want to use, any of those will work just fine. Then we'll go ahead and pop the lid back on and blend for another 20 seconds. All right, and then when that's done, we'll go ahead and we'll scrape the sides again with our spatula, get everything brought down in there. And then pop the lid back on and we're going to start adding the oil. Now something very important that I want to let you know about. Once again, I'm doing 2 cups of avocado oil. You want to add it very slowly at first, like just a teeny tiny, super thin stream to start. You do that for the first half cup, and that's going to be the case at least if you're doing it as a 2-cup batch. If you're doing it as a 1-cup batch, you do it for the first quarter cup. But in this case, we're doing it for the first half cup. This is crucial for emulsification. It's slow, sometimes it's kind of painful, but I promise it's totally worth it. And once you get past that first half cup, the rest of it goes much, much more smoothly. And I'm going to speed up this footage, so It will look like it's going a lot faster than it actually is, but I promise you, it's going to be slow and painful for that first half cup. So just deal with it. You can do it. I promise you, it's worth the hassle. So we're gonna go ahead and get it going, and then we'll start, or get the food processor going, and then we'll start very slowly adding that first half cup of oil. All right, and then at the end of it all, look at that. That is beautifully nice and thick. I mean, look, that is gorgeous. That is what mayonnaise is supposed to look like. So we're gonna go ahead and just scrape all of the stuff off the sides. Get it all incorporated back into the rest of the mix. And then we'll just blend it for a few more seconds. All right, that should be all there is to it. If you like this recipe, please leave a like on this video, share with your friends, and stay tuned for even more recipes that, while not necessarily authentic, are always delicious. Now, I know you might be thinking, okay, I'd like to do more with the mayo than just do a basic mayo, but promise you, this is going to be better. And the reality is, this is basically the equivalent of. To prepare this recipe, you're going to need either a food processor or a blender. A food processor is your best choice in this matter, but it's definitely going to be the easiest way to do it. You'll see that that's pretty well pureed, or I guess not pureed. Pureed's not the right word.